So, Lone Rider here, and I wanted to talk about my current project. This is the Trek 4300. It's coming along nicely. Like I said before, I have my new wheels on here, my seat, my fork, my stem, and at this point I've added my bars as well as my grips. Put a pair of flat bars on there and added a pair of Ori mountain bike grips. I use those on a lot of my bikes. They're pretty cool. You could say I swear by them. Now the next step is going to be, I haven't done the bar ends yet. I'm iffy on that. I like bar ends, but at the same time, I only had one pair unused Oris, and if I cut the ends to put the bar ends on and then decide I don't like it, well then I've ruined the grips. So I'm going to hold off on that until I've ridden this a little more. But what I do have here is I was finally able to find the missing Sram. I have a big bin with drawers downstairs full of bike parts, as well as several boxes and crates, and I guess I couldn't remember where I put it. But this is a complete Sram group that a friend of mine gave me. He didn't need it anymore. Sram X7, it says. So here's your rear derailleur. Let's see, front derailleur. This moves. There we go. Okay. And then we have the shift levers here. They actually still have cables in them, and the cables look like they're still good and plenty long enough. So that should be useful. So there we go. That's going to be the parts for this bike. Before I can do this, however, what I need to do is get around to getting another pair of brake levers, because unfortunately the brake levers that are on there are attached to the shifters. They're integrated. So, you know, that's going to have to go. These are also 9-speed, so I'll be able to put the 9-speed cassette that I had on these wheels back on them, but I will probably also need to get a different chain. So this is going to have to wait till, you know, I have a little bit of money in pocket. I think I actually do have a 9-speed chain lying around somewhere, but, you know, the question is it worth trying to reuse a chain? Maybe I'll just, you know, go and get a new one, in which case I, you know, have to wait till I can buy it. And as far as cranks and bottom bracket, I'm not entirely sure, because basically all the good mountain bike cranks I have are already on bikes. I have plenty of spare cranks lying around, but they're like El Cheapos. And another thing is that Trek, for a certain period of time, used an odd bottom bracket spindle width. I don't know if this bike falls into that category, but just to play it safe, I would take it down to the bike shop and be like, you know, what is the deal with this? Because of course the guy who runs the bike shop knows a little more about that than I do. I do have a calipers. I couldn't measure it. I have, you know, a bazillion catalogs and parts literature at home. So I mean, it probably is something I could do myself, but I would just assume, you know, bring the shop owner a beer and be like, dude, can you help me out? That said, you know, these parts are in excellent condition. They're ready to go. They even, like I said, they even still have the cables on there, and the cables seem plenty long. So right now it's just a question of getting my hands on a pair of discrete brake levers and a chain, and then figuring out what to do as far as the crankset goes. This is a 3x9 setup, this Sram. So what I would probably end up doing is keeping the front a triple. Just a question of, you know, which triple I want to install on this bike. So these front cranks are pretty atrocious. I guess if I was, you know, budget oriented, I could leave them on there. I've actually found 8-speed chain rings usually work okay with 9-speed. It hasn't been a problem, so I probably could get away with leaving those on there. It's just they're so fugly, you know. But yeah, I finally found my Sram parts, so that's coming along. And like I said, I got my new bar ends on the bike, so looking forward to getting this thing set up. Actually, the front shifters are Diore. I don't know why. I guess they were, maybe he didn't have a SRAM, but you know, who knows? Maybe it works. I'll give that a try. But the rest of this group, the back derailleur and the two shifter pods are, like I said, this X7. It's pretty neat looking stuff, and it's in pretty good shape. So yeah, I'm gonna get this put together. Hopefully sooner rather than later. And long ride around. Actually, I think I'm gonna go take this out for a ride, just as it is. In a little bit, the sky is clearing, the sun is out, and yeah, see what happens. But I'm glad I'm getting all my parts together, and pretty soon, you know, this thing will be in its you know, the condition it should have been in without all these crappy parts, because it's a decent, you know, like I said, a decent retro bike. It should have decent parts on it. So, Lone Rider out, rock on, stay safe, back on deals.